State of Georgia dropping the hammer on squatters gaming the system. Check out this video.
New at 5. Georgia's new, tougher penalties against squatters are now the law of the land.
The new law comes after a series of Channel 2 Action News investigations exposed the loophole squatters were taking advantage of. Now, consumer investigator Justin Gray is looking into how local police departments are using their new powers to criminally charge squatters.
Karen, we've been reaching out to police departments, solicitors general, and local magistrates about this to see if criminal citations are now being written to squatters. Many of the departments tell us they are still trying to figure out how all of this is going to work, but South Fulton has already created a special task force just to go after squatters, armed with the authority of this new law.
I know everybody thinks you can go in the house and squat and sit there. That law changed the other day. That law changed the other day.
When police officers knocked on the door of this South Fulton home this month, armed with new powers to cite squatters criminally on the spot, the suspected squatters ran out the back door.
All these fake leases, and I got receipts for this, and I rented this. Nope. That's over with.
So we're basically putting these.
Good. Over with. Good. Problem is, in a city like Seattle, that's never going to happen. Oh, we got to go through due process. Oh, yeah, they've got rights.
Squatters don't notice the laws change.
Y'all squatting in my house.
It was a very different scene earlier this spring when police were called to 𝗨𝗘𝗠𝗠𝗪's DeKalb County home.
They'll break in your house and then use the law to stay in there.
Where is it?
You have the lease, ma'am? I do. Don't worry about this.
Yeah, bro, she got a full lease.
Police body camera video was rolling as officers were handed what...
She got a full lease, but it's all bogus. That's what most of these squatters have. Here you go. Here's my lease. Here's my receipt from DoorDash. It means I live here.
They suspected was a fake lease.
So you got somebody with a fake lease?
Yeah, I think the lease is fake, but it's no way I can prove it.
So the officers just left, told 𝗨𝗠𝗠𝗪s and the suspected squatter it's not a criminal matter.
This will take time. Like, we can't put you out because we're not here for that. And he have to deal with it with law courts and so that.
They shouldn't be in there for, a minute. They shouldn't be out immediately.
Are you selling a squatter home right here? After an exclusive Channel 2 Action News hidden camera investigation and a series of viral Channel 2 Action News squatter stories, Georgia lawmakers rewrote the law on squatters, spelling out that this is a crime that must be dealt with in magistrate court in a matter of days, not weeks or months.
Well, this is no longer a civil matter.
That's the way it should be. If you got an issue like that and it's so clear cut, set up some new laws, drop the hammer, and in these liberal cities where this is really going hard, you don't have the manpower police to do that. They're busy actually handling real crimes, right? Not to say that squatting isn't a real crime, but you know what I mean, where somebody's actually getting physically accosted. They're handling that. And, the court systems in the big blue cities, they are all for the tenants' rights. They're not for the landlords at all because, landlords are oppressors. So, there's that.
Once this law was passed, it has now became a criminal offense.
Hi, yeah, it's Justin Gray from Channel 2. Are you squatting in this home?
Jess comes right out and asks, are you squatting in this home? Imagine if she would have said, yeah, I am. Take me to jail. All right. I know there's a new law. Get me out of here. No, you got to ask, though, right? Hey, what are you doing in there? Knock, 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 knock.
You're not? This is one of the first houses South Fulton police have visited under the new law just last week. They determined the suspected squatter is in the eviction process with the corporate landlord who is looking to recoup $60,000 in unpaid rent.
You feel like you all can react quicker now?
Absolutely. I think with the current law that is now in effect, we will be able to react more proactively.
Let's go back to 𝗨𝗘𝗠𝗠𝗪's home. Channel 2 Action News cameras were there the day marshals evicted Keisha Bailey from the house. But look what we found right down the street a few weeks later.
Criminal trespass notice. DeKalb Marshals been evicted by the DeKalb Marshals office.
Jane Doe evicted here according to the paperwork, but look at the belongings. See anything familiar? How about the same suitcase?
Yep.
We noticed the luggage tag here, 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧. That's the same woman at the other home.
According to court records, the alleged squatters here claim to have been scammed. That's the same thing 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 says about 𝗪𝗡𝗘𝗠𝗠's house. Bailey told me in an Instagram message that she's no squatter, that she is a scam victim who was evicted from suspected squatter homes twice in a month.
Let's take a look at this. Hi, Justin. I'm not sure who is spreading lies. I was scammed moving to Ashton Oak Circle and moved out peacefully. Yeah, with the sheriff's help. Peacefully. Now I'm considered a serial squatter. Well, if you do it more than once, that's a serial squatter. I work hard to take care of my family when I'm not squatting. I lost money and now I'm working to get things back I lost. Okay, nobody cares what you lost. You were taking somebody else's property. You were squatting. That's called stealing. That's not losing. That's stealing. An article was posted about me completely false, which posted pics of me and my child. Well, that's because you and your child, it sounds like, were squatting in this house, right? And then you squatted just down the road and you left your luggage out. I mean, you didn't even pick up your stuff. You didn't even go get your stuff. Did you end up in jail? Are you squatting in jail? Who knows? The article the writer wrote was defamation and will be removed. What? What do you mean? It'll be removed. What are you talking about? Who's removing it? How's that going to work? Because you're a serial squatter. I don't have felonies. I don't do drugs and never been a squatter. So you're innocent is what you're saying. You're not squatting. You're a victim of a misunderstanding. All of your tax money was spent. Yeah. I don't know. I'm calling BS here, right? I'm calling BS. And so is the reporter here.
Scam victim who was evicted from suspected squatter homes twice in a month.
So yeah.
This is crazy. Like I literally just
Twice
spent half of my tax money to move in here.
I literally just spent half my tax money to move in here, said 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧. Okay, then you should have a real lease that, allows you to stay. And if you paid money, why don't you, provide a copy of that check along with the lease and you're golden. You're absolutely golden, but that's not happening, is it? That is just not happening.
I'm here with my kids.
It's crazy because they're just going to find the next victim and get out of that one.
But under the new Georgia law, suspected squatters now will immediately be issued a criminal citation.
Good.
So y'all can the word around. All this squatting, the other day.
And so under the new Georgia law, suspected squatters are supposed to immediately be issued a criminal citation and have 3 days to present a lease. If that lease is fraudulent, this goes from a misdemeanor case to a felony. Another thing with the new...
That's beautiful. That is a thing of beauty. So if you do the little fake lease, then it's going to get escalated to a felony. I am liking that. Be like Georgia. Be like Georgia.
Law is that it doesn't have to just be the homeowner who reports this. Now anyone, a neighbor, an HOA can call police and say, we want you to investigate this squatter home.
And it looks like what you found, though, was some of the people renting the homes didn't know they were squatting. They were giving their money to a company that was being bad with them.
We see that in some cases. We also see people saying that, and that is what gets worked out in court. That is what these magistrate courts are going to decide.
Wow, a lot going on. Justin, thanks.
I'm liking that fast track. Oof, that sounds good. Just get those dirty, stinky squatters out of there. Let's take a quick peek at the article. There's a few things on the article that didn't really show up in that video. So the city of South Fulton has already created a special task force just to go after squatters armed with the authority of this new law. Channel 2 Action News obtained video when police officers knocked. We saw that. The suspected squatters ran out the back door. Yeah. All right. So if you run away from the house that you are legally have a lease for, if you run out the back door, I say that automatically gets just kicked to a felony as well, right? Let's just felony these dirty, stinky squatters up. Just felony them up. Just give them some jail time. Let them cool their jets. I mean, they want a place to stay, right? Yeah. Jail is housing. I say we jail them. Give them a criminal record. I know everybody thinks you can go in the house and squat and sit there. That all changed the other day. You know, those people inside these homes are going, what? What? No, nobody sent me the memo. You mean this DoorDash receipt ain't going to work in court? I don't get it. What? Hey, now. We're basically putting these squatters on notice. The law changed, said Lieutenant Jubal Rogers with the South Fulton Police Department. It was a very different scene earlier this spring when police were called to Paul Callan's DeKalb County home. We saw that. And, you know, there's not a lot you can do. If it's, if there's a real lease in question, it's going to be stuck in court for a long time. But what Georgia did is they basically put a new law in place that, hey, if you can't prove this within 3 days, which is a long weekend, right? A long weekend. All right. So they can do a lot of damage in a long weekend, but at least it's not years and years like we're seeing so many of the other squatters just take advantage of the law. Need to go after these people. So you got somebody with a fake lease. The police supervisor asked the responding office, yeah, I think the lease is fake, but there's no way I can prove it. They can't prove it. So let the squatter prove it. Let the squatter prove it in court. Let the squatter bring it in front of a judge. Judge, here's my receipt for food that was delivered to my house. Therefore, that's kind of like a lease, isn't it? This will take time. We can't put you out because we're not sure we're here for that. Yeah, we watched that. And that's just disappointing. And that is what is going all over the country, is these dirty, stinky squatters. They just hunker down, and they're like the gift that just keeps on giving that you don't want to be having. You don't want it to be giving. You don't want it to be giving. So under the new Georgia law, suspected squatters will immediately be issued a criminal citation and have 3 days to present a lease. I think that's great, because if they've got a valid lease, all right, there you go. All right, get rid of that misdemeanor. Get rid of the whole issue if you've got a lease. But this isn't going to come up unless somebody has already gone down that road. Hey, they're squatting in my house. From checking in with local police departments, Gray learned not everyone is up and running with the new laws as quickly as South Fulton. Another thing with the new law is that it doesn't have to be the homeowner who can report a squatter. Now neighbors or homeowners associations can contact police as well and report the suspected squatters. So if you've got an out-of-town squatter, if you've got an out-of-town landlord and the neighbors are like, what are we doing here? It's owned by somebody, over in another country somewhere else, and they're not doing jack. And these people are just ruining the neighborhood. Well, now they can go down this road and they can report a squatter. So then the same thing. If you're a squatter, I'd be on the lookout. This is what needs to happen in so many jurisdictions. But you know what? It's not going to happen because these jurisdictions, landlords, they're bad people. They own property. They go down this road of, we need to protect the tenant's rights. And there does need to be some of that, but there's so much of that on the books already. We need to go the other direction. It's like Jimmy here in Bellevue. That's an international case. That's a worldwide known case about a couple of miles from where I sit here. Jimmy, the landlord, Dirty Sang Kim, is the serial squatter that Jimmy, the landlord, has been trying to get out. It's been all over the news. Tyler Oliveira had it as part of one of his videos here recently in Seattle, along with another weird video with Steve Hickey. He's a news stringer, and he has his own media channel, and he's got a lawsuit going. And you probably saw the video. You might have seen the podcast that I did here, if you're a loyal listener. And I'm inclined to believe on the Steve Hickey one, where Tyler Oliveira and Jonathan Cho showed up at the house that Steve Hickey's got he's either squatting in or he's got a legal issue. I'm inclined to believe that one is not a case of squatting, but it's so close that, Tyler Oliveira and Jonathan Cho, they're sensationalizing it, in my opinion. And, but that's without me doing a deep dive, looking at those court cases, looking at all the paperwork. I think, Steve Hickey, in that case, he might have a case. Sounds like he has a case. And in that, well, then a judge looks at it and goes, no, okay, you've got legal issues that need to be squared away. You know, this guy had a contract and landlord didn't fulfill the contract, the seller didn't fulfill the contract, whatever. But what we're talking about here is something wildly different. We're talking about somebody just moving on in. They've got nothing to go on and everybody knows it. And so, yeah, you get a notice and you get 3 days. And then if you don't, you know, do the police come in and just boom, out you go? It looks that way. It looks that way. So Georgia, blazing the trail, just going ham on those dirty squatters, right? And everybody knows people are gaming the system all over the United States. Hey, I mean, when you've got a situation where illegal immigrants are coming into the country and espousing squatting technique and how they're going to take over these homes and fix them up and, you know, eminent domain, they're going to take them, you know, the terminology they were throwing out was just, you know, it was mind blowing. Oh, okay. This is going to happen. Interesting. All right. Well, from a legal standpoint, the way that you're describing taking over these properties, that doesn't really work. But, you know, this illegal squatter had enough followers that it doesn't matter, because then people from all over the world coming into the United States think, hey, I can get some free housing. I can squat in a house. Well, maybe not in Georgia, because Georgia, they are saying no to the squatting. Super quick time frame on misdemeanor escalates to felony. I am all for it. Go, Georgia, go. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks again for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.